Please say hello to the talented, the humble, former great running back, Maurice JonesDrew. Yeah. Mojo.
Yes.
Now, is that a fair transition for him? He gets up early in the morning.
I don't have to worry because you kind of bombed that. So anything I do is going to be fine.
That's very true.
I feel like.
Are you a fan of stand-up comedy?
Yeah, I think anytime you can make people laugh is going to be okay.
But you don't go to these places.
No, I have 3 kids, 3 dogs, a bunny, and a cat, so I don't have much time to do much of anything but work.
It's great to have you on in person here.
Yes.
I love our conversations, and I can do the formal introduction. 8,000 career yards in 9 years, 68 touchdowns. If I was going to show one highlight that summed up your career, that highlight would be?
I think the most popular one is Sean Merriman is getting after him.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's a block.
It's not always about scoring touchdowns.
That's true.
It's not always about the ball. Sometimes.
David Garrard?
Yes. Threw the touchdown.
Okay. Do you ever talk to Sean Merriman about that?
It's kind of that thing when you see someone, you just kind of give them the nod, like, you know what time it is. Let's not put these pads back on, type of thing. There goes your joke. See, that's how you started off.
I love it.
Perfect.
I love it. Now I got
you go.
something.
I'm gonna help you out a little bit.
That's awesome.
What's your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
It's the NFL. I think any given Sunday, if you have a good game plan together and you believe, you can win. And I call the Rams game, so I saw the Seahawks come out and start fast and try to get after the Rams a little bit. Then you look up on the scoreboard and all of a sudden you see the Titans up 24 on the Patriots, and then I see my Jags, who I felt would have had a bounce back week with Fournette. They played better, but couldn't find a way to win against the Colts. So I just any given Sunday really that really last Sunday was kind of the title for it, I guess.
Yeah, but I've asked you about this before with the Rams. We know the offense is great. It's the defense, and it takes a while for when you bring in parts to make a defense work here. Fowler had contributed. Peters did okay. Donald is awesome, but what's the biggest concern about that Rams defense?
It's Talib. Aqib Talib is the guy. He's the piece that makes it all go, which is crazy to say that at corner. But when Talib's there, you don't have Peters following guys. You could play sides, which he's most comfortable. I want to say on the left side of I want to say it's either the right side or the left side of the offense, whichever one. But then you could put Talib on the number 1 wide receiver and let Marcus Peters kind of bounce around and follow who he wants to follow. And then everyone's comfortable. And with Talib there, the team is going to hold because now they're going to be like, we're going to throw it at Marcus Peters. Well, then you can put safety help there. And it kind of allows that pass rush to get to him. And again, anytime you lose a starting corner or starting anything, you're putting a guy that's normally not in the game, and teams are going to go after him.
Where would you place Jared Goff with the young quarterbacks?
I think after these last 2 years, he has to be in the top 2, top 3.
Top 2, top 3 of
quarterbacks, period.
Goff is in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, if we saw the way he played against New Orleans, he had the one pick, but other than that, he went right down the field. When they played the Vikings defense, he torched them. Right now, he's playing with we call uber confidence. It doesn't matter who they're going against. Coach McVay's instilled a ton of confidence in him in that offense, so they can go out and score on anybody. And when you see him, he doesn't. So I saw him in college. I trained at Cal, worked out with him there. I saw him in his first year in Los Angeles, where he was quiet. He wasn't a real boisterous kind of guy. And he's still not boisterous, but you could tell in his interviews he's much more confident in his abilities and what he can do. And that's the biggest difference to me is just he's confident. He knows he can make these throws. He's confident where he's going with the ball. And, when he has confidence, that offense plays better. And I think when you look at the Saints, that's what it is. They're confident that Drew Brees is going to make every throw, every play. And that game was fascinating watching them go back and forth, coming back from 21 down, going up 21. Like they were finding ways and battling in so many different areas. Both quarterbacks played exceptional.
Who's the MVP right now? If I said Mahomes?
Yeah, Mahomes.
Oh, he is? Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. It's a quarterback award, so let's not even throw running backs in there. Yeah, I was up for it twice.
No, Gurley's.
He should win it.
He should be in the top 3.
He should win it, but it's a quarterback award. He's.
Why won't he win it?
Because he has. I want to say Gurley has 17 touchdowns in 9 games or whatever it may be, 8 games, but Mahomes has close to 30 already. So the stats are just going to be so far out there with the new rules and the way you can throw the ball. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is on fire right now. So you just have to, try to hold off. And then you have Drew Brees only throwing 1 interception and 20 touchdowns. The quarterback numbers are just so crazy.
It's too easy for them.
Right.
It just is. I mean, Phillip Rivers having a great game, a great season.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised when I see somebody struggle. When you see somebody who is throwing 3 or 4 interceptions, or you're not throwing for 300 yards.
Well, it kind of shows your ability, I feel like, as a quarterback with all the new rules.
Yeah.
When you can't throw touchdowns or you're throwing a lot of picks. One is I feel like you're having the trouble reading defenses, which, as a quarterback, that's the first thing you have to be able to do to anticipate the throw. But then really after that, it's, you don't have to be aggressive all the time. Like there's some guys that are crazy aggressive and they'll throw the ball, but there's guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees who are ultra conservative as well. They do take their shots when they present themselves, but for the most part, they'll check the ball down and let guys go. And so when you're throwing picks, that's just because you're trying to prove to someone or prove that you can be this guy when you really don't have to in this league.
I was listening to the Rams game yesterday, and they had an audible, and they yelled out Halle Berry.
Oh, my goodness. It was phenomenal.
Okay, did you ever have an audible, like anything fun when you were playing where somebody yells out?
We had my rookie year, the coaches. So I coach youth football now. And it's funny. You can say whatever you want. I think I'm going to put this play in. The play was called Brown Shoe. It wasn't fun like Halle Berry or anything like that, but Brown Shoe is was the formation, a motion, and the play all in one. And all he had to yell was Brown Shoe, and everyone knew what they were doing. So we put in a thing. I'm not going to give you the name because we have a game this weekend. I don't want the listeners, the other team, to hear me.
Absolutely.
But we put it in, and it's like total chaos. It's like our hurry up offense in a way. And all the parents were like, "Do you think this is going to work?" I was like, "Oh, it's football. Anything works. You can just say whatever you want." So let's say if it was Dan Patrick, the name of the deal. They all like whatever as soon as we yell it, they all get to the line of scrimmage, they run the certain play. But it's like 10-year-olds, so everyone's all over the place. As soon as they hear it, it's like, oh, that's the word, that's the word, that's the word. They all get set and they go. So I mean, you can
You didn't have any plays like this when you played, like any audible? Nothing fun?
Not Halle Berry. Actually, I tweeted at Jared after that, like, the one who doesn't shoot his shot will never win. So you got to shoot your shot in that situation, right? It just. And I don't know where I heard it from, but it sounded like something real.
Well, wait.
Poetic.
Who's taking it? Who thinks they have a shot at the Halle Berry crown here?
Well, Jared, he tweeted at her and was like, "It's my favorite play. So shoot your shot, young man. Go out there, pull the trigger, make it happen, make it work."
I mean, Jared Goff, he's probably got a girlfriend, and
I don't know.
He doesn't have any rings yet. I think you got to have a ring if you're going Halle Berry, right?
I think if you're no, not at all. You're Jared Goff.
I mean, she's first ballot Hall of Famer. You can't.
I mean, he's the king of LA right now. Him and Todd, they're kind of running LA a little bit. She wants to get back in the whole movie industry deal. Get you a young one solid. Get your name back out there. Let's make it work.
She's like Joe Montana.
That's all right. Joe can always come back if he wants to. Everybody needs a quarterback.
No.
He can come back and coach.
No. Yeah, he can coach, but I thought it was fun. But it was quiet, though. And
right.
So when you heard it, now, did you know what the play was?
No.
Oh.
That's the one thing.
They don't share information?
No, not you can't even get close to that. You can't even don't even bother with that.
So you do the games, but you can't find out any kind of hints that you want to give to the audience during the game?
Not that close.
Okay.
We try to, I understand the importance of having, plays that you've never ran and those type of things. I mean, there was I don't know what play that was to be exact, but I know there's a play where they gave Robert Woods like a reverse sweep inside or trap play, and you don't want to be the guy to spill the beans on that, and then that gets stopped. Then Coach McVay's all upset with you,
He's Maurice JonesDrew. His Twitter handle is @MJD. Thursday Night Football continues this week. Packers Seahawks on Fox NFL Network and Amazon Prime Video. Dallas Cowboys, we saw offensive line.
Do you know what they're going to be? Like, no. One week they're really good, and another week they're just like, who is this?
But why? I think the offensive line getting healthy. I think that's big for them. Zach Martin, I thought, played a great game.
Yeah, I mean, he went out, though, and came back.
Yeah.
To me, it really comes down to Zeke. If they can get Zeke going or not, because when Zeke touches the ball and he's able to be that type of player, that's when you're going to see, the Cowboys go.
But you have a league that is really predicated on offenses, being driven by quarterbacks here.
Right.
So you're asking this offense to be running back driven and complemented by your quarterback.
Yeah, you have to know who you are. Like I can't, granted, I want to have my own talk show one day and be like you and those things, but I can't wear your clothes. I can't wear glasses. I got LASIK, so I'm good. I don't need those type of things. My hair's there. You know what I mean? It's not gray. Thank you.
No, you're
But
fresh.
I got to be me though.
Yeah.
I can't be you. And I think in this league, that's what you have to understand is who you are as a team and really focus on that. And some teams aren't passing teams. Some teams aren't, explosive teams. Some teams are the old school way.
But you used a first-round pick. You brought in Amari Cooper.
Yeah, you're trying to build that, but if you're not that right now.
Is Dak Prescott that kind of quarterback, though, that I can load him up for 30 passes a game?
No. He's not a 30-pass-a-game guy. I think he's 22 to 25. Every quarterback has their pitch count. But I think what you can use Dak where other people you can't is his legs. Let him run. He's young. He's a big back. Let him run. Let him do different things. Be creative in that standpoint. You saw him run the option.
Yeah.
Those are things you can do. Teams aren't used to that. So you can be creative in those ways where some teams you can't run the option, right? You can't do certain things. So understand your personnel and take advantage of those things. And I think that's how you be creative, and that's how you utilize your offense instead of trying to make him something that he's not. Because when you do that, you get those bad games like against the Tennessee Titans and those type of things. And then, Scott Linehan, just when you're in, anytime you're in the like red zone, 10-yard line, just turn around and hand the ball off to Zeke. Like, let's stop getting fancy and trying to throw these routes and these crazy combinations. Just turn around and hand the ball off.
We've had some spirited conversations about Le'Veon Bell. Oh, now you share
phenomenal conversations. Actually,
you share the same agent.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I'm guessing you have some inside information here because
so I've always given people what the process of what was going on, not really because it's Le'Veon's decision. There's no one else is going to make this decision but Le'Veon. I think.
Do you think he plays this year?
I wouldn't play this year.
But do you think
I don't know if he will or if he won't. I mean, I know he's back in Pittsburgh.
But you have to know, talking to his agent, you wouldn't be doing your job by not asking.
Well, that's my job. I'm not Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter.
But you've had strong opinions on Le'Veon Bell, and you're always well researched. You do your homework. You're well thought out, and that's why I think you know what's going on.
I really don't. Now, there's reports saying that he won't. There was a report that the Steelers owner said they can't wait to have him back on Tuesday. They expect him back. Then a couple hours later, they're like, we don't expect him back. I really don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to Le'Veon. I've talked to our agent, and our agent has done a great job of giving him all the information that he can, so he can make a business decision what's best for him. But I always tell people because people in our society, in our world, in our country are so quick to judge and say like, well, I would have did this or I would have did that, and I have to go back to Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, who was offered $2 billion early in the start of Facebook, and he turned it down. Not many people would have done that, right? I mean, granted, I feel like I would have been one to be like, no, I know my worth. I know what my company's worth. I know what I'm worth. You take your $2 billion and go. And I just actually this morning on the way here, I looked up how much Facebook is worth. You know how much it's worth?
Probably about $60 billion.
You sure? Try double that, $138 billion.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So knowing your worth is huge in this world. And I think,
once you get past 60, then it doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't, but right? I mean, you're right. It really doesn't, but just to say 138 billion is crazy. And I think knowing your worth in this world is huge. It's one of the things that you have the right to try to justify. And I think Le'Veon has done that. He understands his worth.
Yeah, but it's a little trickier with the NFL than it is
not really.
with Facebook.
I mean, it's very simple. I think it is. I think Facebook is because it's all evaluations and where they may go and those type of things. But I think with football, it's much easier. If player X has this many stats and he's getting paid, Y, but player Z has less stats.
Would you pay him more than Todd Gurley?
I'd pay him what Todd Gurley's getting paid. I think Todd Gurley's younger, so granted, Todd Gurley, he doesn't have the stats that Le'Veon's had, but that's what around there what I would pay him because I know I'm going to get receiving options out of him as well as running.
But he's not going to get the $14 million back if you're going to pay him what you're paying Todd Gurley.
Well, guess what? Zuckerberg's not going to get the $2 billion back that
no, but it's not the same. So. It's not the same.
It is.
No, you're not going to get that money back.
But at the
he's getting about 14, and he's going to get 40. 45 guaranteed.
So you wouldn't give up 14 to get 45?
I understand if you're going to try to be healthy. I get it.
Right. I mean,
but you're not getting the money back is what I'm saying.
No, and I think that's where people get messed up. If he goes out there and plays, and we've seen Earl Thomas, we've seen Des Bryant, we see all these guys get hurt.
But they're older.
Yeah, I mean, there are. But
Gurley came back from a knee injury.
In college.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
got drafted in the top 10. No question.
I think Le'Veon, well, I don't think he's going to play this year. Yeah. I understand why he doesn't, but he's not going to make that money back. Yeah. He's not going to get Odell Beckham Jr. money.
No, I mean, he's not. He doesn't play that position that Odell
But I think
plays.
he thinks he's an entertainer. Like Odell's an entertainer. I think that's what his agent.
I think Le'Veon thinks that he is. And I've talked to Le'Veon. I think Le'Veon thinks and knows that he is the ultimate weapon. Okay. He's not just a running back. He's a guy that can do everything, and he's a big mismatch on the field. Imagine whatever team. Let's just say he goes back to Pittsburgh. Let's just throw this out there so people. I know people are going crazy. Let's say he goes back. Imagine putting James Conner in the backfield, him and wide receiver in the slot.
Oh, I know. He could be a starting wide receiver.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So in that situation, you have a guy who could play both positions and at a high level. He needs to get compensated as such. Very simple. Right or wrong?
He's not going to make the money back. That's it.
I agree with you that he's not going to make the money back.
Yeah, that's all. And he wants to be healthy for the next contract. I get it. He might miss out on a Super Bowl as well.
This is the business.
I know.
It's a business decision.
All right. I mean, we'll throw down if you want to during the commercial break.
I personally don't want to do anything like that.
Oh, okay. It's old habits of mine.
Yeah, see, there you go. Going back to the old school. I don't do those things.
Like
I've never been like that.
I try to get away from that. And sometimes you press my button.
I don't know why. We're talking about Le'Veon. We didn't say anything about each other.
But it feels like it's you against me.
You felt like I was attacking you?
A little bit.
No, not at all. Why would I do such a thing?
I grew up on the tracks, not the wrong side of the tracks. I was on the tracks.
When I talked to you about the high school and the rivalry, you tried to give me this whole runaround thing. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. All right. Take a break here. It's good to see you.
Always great to see you.
Thanks for getting up.
No problem. Anything for you. And just don't touch me. That's all I ask. Right? Are we cool with that?
All right.
All right.
Maurice JonesDrew, NFL Network analyst.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.